Hello, everybody, and welcome to For the Shoe Friday, the only show that we managed to make on time this week. So, Jeff, thank you for being a part of that. And, I can't even say my show was late. You know what I mean? Like,
What are
anyway,
you doing, man?
exactly. So, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to have a like goal of 10 likes on this episode. The Jags fans have a record for the new slew of podcasts of 14 likes. If you want to one up the Jags fans, 15
Not
is the
too
way
bad.
to go. That's a good way to go.
Make
Couldn't
new
get.
accounts and like it. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. We're also trying to hit 1,000 subs, so we are at 327 at the time of this recording. So we're trying to climb those ranks, and the more likes we get, the more people we get in front of, the more effort I'm going to put into doing all of this. But
Sure.
with that being said, the Colts are in the midst of an interesting offseason. They've shed some older guys for minimal draft capital. They've shed some guys that needed to be cut. Matt Pryor. Um,
Thank God.
they and Matt Ryan. So in theory, some of those are a little bit of addition by subtraction. Some of those are just straight up subtraction. But with that in mind, there have been some draft projections coming out saying that the Colts will not draft a quarterback in the first round because Lamar Jackson found himself in the former Baltimore team as the quarterback assumed to be number 8 in Indianapolis. What are your thoughts on that? I know we kind of talked a lot about this last episode, but like now that people are really kind of connecting the dots, it seems more real now.
Mhm. Uh, the level of pettiness in me loves that. It's the old Baltimore team taking the Baltimore. The pettiness in me loves it. I just don't know if the money he's asking for is worth it when you compound it with two firsts. I think that's the biggest drawback to why this deal hasn't already happened. I mean, like I said in the last one, he's an upgrade over anything we've had since Luck. And if he stays healthy, I mean, it could be a steal. I mean, you get a top tier quarterback that's healthy for two firsts. I mean, that's what every team wants. So, but I think there's just a lot of restraints. I'm pretty sure they probably want to keep Jonathan Taylor and some of the other guys around, and Pittman, and they're going to be, they're JT's going to be due a nice chunk. Pittman probably 15 to 20. I just don't know if it's in the budget to do it. I don't know if that's what they're dragging their feet on.
I imagine there'd have to be some sort of crazy package just to get Lamar, and it wouldn't be just the firsts. Somebody to go. It would probably be a Michael Pittman, who has been underwhelming, I guess. Or whelming, just
I
regular
mean,
whelming.
it'd be nice to see what he could do with a competent
Yeah.
quarterback.
I mean,
He had rare. I mean, he put up numbers, and it's just I wonder what he could have done with, Luck in his prime. It's just there hasn't been really anything to gauge what he could actually do.
okay. So let's just say Lamar actually makes a transition over to the Colts. Does this immediately put them in contention for not just the playoffs, but maybe more?
I would think so if he can, like I said, if he can stay healthy, which he hasn't done the last couple of years. But it's just been wrong place, wrong time. It's not like he wasn't running on those plays. It was he's scrambling out of the pocket, whatever, or in the pocket, and he took a hit from behind, I believe, last year,
Yeah.
where he got that sprain. So it hasn't even been because he was running. It's because he was in the pocket and his line fell apart. But like I said, wrong place, wrong time. Anyone could get these injuries, but it's becoming kind of a pattern. At the end of the year, he's hurt.
Yeah.
So, but if he could stay healthy, yeah, I would think so. They roll in with Jonathan Taylor. They had up until 2/3 of the way through the season, they had a top 10 defense, in at least in my opinion. And no, the line wasn't the greatest, but they had Matt Ryan as the quarterback who can't move at all. So I think it at least makes you a contender to win the division. I I'd love to say a contender for the Super Bowl, but that's all speculation at that point. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how these players would play with him. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, if JT would stick around or be able to with that, with that deal he gets. So it's I definitely think it makes him. I don't. I would even go as far as saying favorites for the AFC South if he was with him, but he'd
If,
have to stay healthy.
yeah. If healthy. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Lamar is a once MVP. I don't know if he's actually been to the Super Bowl, but he's been to the AFC Championship game. Um, he that year he won MVP. I think he went to the AFC
Yeah,
Championship
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and lost to the Patriots, I guess. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the man's an athlete. He's going to be an upgrade over that any of the guys in that Q room in a long time. I just struggle to think that he is the one stop. Like, we fixed it. It's over with for the rest of the division kind of thing. There are other positions of need. I still think Pittman's really a wide receiver too,
Yeah.
having to play a wide receiver one position.
It would feel a lot like the Matthew Stafford. I mean, it'd be a much bigger deal, but it feels like the Matthew Stafford, like short term, big success, and then just in
Yeah,
cap hell and whatever for the next few years. So it would feel like that, and they'd have to let go of, you know, probably not resign JT. Probably, Quentin Nelson gets traded, or they probably lose a lot of those big guys that they would need with someone like Lamar Jackson.
yeah. Okay, so let's ask this question. Let's just say hypothetically the quarterback need is filled either with Lamar or a quarterback in the first. So which is the bigger need at this point? Guard or defensive back? Obviously, there's been kind of a hole there since what was it? Glowinski left, right? Mark Glowinski.
And they let him go. Yeah.
So it's just been kind of a revolving door there of people who have not been rising to the occasion, I guess. And then at DB with the loss of Stephon Gilmore, you guys have Isaiah Rogers and
Anymore.
Kenny Moore, and then kind of nobody. Like,
Yeah. Um. Definitely, I'd have to say corner. It's if they go first overall, I would fully expect the rest of the draft to be defense and maybe throw in a guard or tackle somewhere in there. But I would think their next several picks would be on the secondary. At least I would hope.
yeah,
It went from a pretty strong position that the Colts had to now like
yeah,
Leonard can't do everything.
yeah. Linebackers, God, they're okay. So I mean, even with Zaire having a phenomenal season, you run a 4-3. So you mean Shaq always plays strong side, so you need somebody in the middle, and it just sucks you let Bobby Okereke go. He was such a fucking force in that middle of the line.
That kind of pissed me off because I feel like I don't think he took as much as I thought he was going to get with the Giants. Like I think he took what was it like 12 million or something.
Mm-hmm. Something like
I
that.
can't remember the total, but it was several million less than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, they could have done that. Like they have what, like 20 million in cap space, something like that. I haven't looked at the whatever number, but they had quite a bit, and they definitely could have spent it if they're going to go rookies, if they're not going to go Lamar. I think they could have retained him, but
Yeah.
especially what he was asking for.
All right. So bigger need, wide receiver one, or middle linebacker.
I'm going to try not to be a homer here because I feel like that Pierce could fill into that wide receiver one role. He's got the speed and the height to do it, but he just again it was Matt Ryan, so there really wasn't much of a gauge to go off of. But I see Pittman working more as a two or kind of a shifty, kind of put him in the slot, put him in two. Pierce could definitely be a solid two. I'd like to see a wide receiver one, like a true Jamar Chase, Jefferson. I want to see someone like that. Go back, Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
We got spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just that part of me wants, I'd like to say that that we don't need a wide receiver because we've got Pittman and Pierce and now McKenzie, but I really want that Marvin Harrison, that Jamar Chase, Jefferson. I really want that on this team, and I don't think any of these guys right now are that.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to tell which one of these guys, because they kind of, all the wide receivers in this class kind of feel like they're almost the same guy, even though they all have a little bit of a different skill set. And I know that's kind of stupid to say those two things back to back, but they're just kind of clustered in together, I guess. So it's really hard to differentiate between, like, when Jamar Chase was in the draft, it was Jamar Chase and then everyone else. Yeah. So I mean, like, it's hard to really. There's nobody who's just like, oh, you got to get this guy. So maybe you wait until Marvin Harrison Jr. And then
That's what a lot of cool fans are like. Yeah, we'll just tank 23 too.
I
Pull him
mean,
to 24 and get him.
it would be one of the most fun lineage stories in the NFL. Much like the Matthews brothers and their kids, if they ever played for the teams that their parents played for. So I mean,
but it might be a kind of a story with Harrison Jr. Like, I don't want to completely do everything that my father did. Like, I want to be my own.
yeah, and maybe he just, like,
We love him though.
yeah. Trying to think about, because Lamar Jackson, he was not going to wear 88. He's just not going to do it. So, like, he couldn't wear 8 because Lamar. So, assuming Lamar, but sorry, Lamar. Lamar. But yeah, that's really all I've got for this episode. Jeff, do you have anything?
I guess the next one we'll touch on the draft. I kind of want to go over possible scenarios they could do.
Yeah. I think sometime soon I'm going to have us do an AFC South show, and we'll do a collective mock draft of the first round on, like, PFF or whatever. So, all right, folks, thank you for watching. Again, we have a 10 like goal on this episode. We are in the hunt for 1,000. The Jacksonville Jaguars pod, the Duval Thursdays, they set the bar at 14 likes with our last episode. So we'd like to top that and hit 15 at minimum here. But be warned, 2 other episodes dropped earlier today. Today's Thursday at the time of this recording. So, they at any point could break those records. So if you see this episode, make sure you scroll a little bit, see what the likes on the other ones are, just to make sure, maybe you're setting an actual bar.
Pump it up.
Yeah, pump up the numbers, baby. Pump them up.
Man.
But all right, folks. Jeff, thank you for coming on. And folks, be good people.